the way I explain like people's unwillingness to look at certain things is like we have a foundation that we build our beliefs on. So you have these beliefs, and then all these other beliefs are built on top of it. And to really understand what's going on, you need to like start chipping away at your foundation. Yeah. But you're living in the top of the building.
Yeah.
And so, you don't want to start messing with your foundation.
Yeah.
And I think that's the challenge is that people are not prepared like psychologically. And I mean, I think everyone has the mental capacity to understand this. I think there are very few genuinely stupid people. I think stupidity is more of almost a choice.
Yeah, it could be as simple as choosing where you get your information from.
Yeah.
And if you say, well, look, I'm a busy business person who only has X number of hours in the day. I turn on my nightly news. I get 30 minutes. That's what I have in my life. Is that person stupid? No, they're a smart person. They're choosing to get their information from a poisoned source.
Right.
So then they take that information, incorporate it into their own lives, and go out and out into the world every day thinking, well, I've got the information that I need to make my moves, to plan where I'm going to be in the near term and long term future. But you're making these assumptions based off of the information you got from the mainstream media, which is totally compromised. It is you don't know where it's coming. It's coming from the military. It's coming from the CIA. It's coming from advertisers that they can't piss off. So you go about your day. As an example, something like the vaccine question that comes up, and the average person says, well, look, if there's a vaccine issue, if there's a real question about the vaccine issue, surely I would have seen it on my nightly news. And since Anderson Cooper didn't do an expose on the vaccines and how it's contributing to this spike in autism, then I didn't see it there, so it must not be a big thing, because clearly if it was a big deal, they'd report on it. Well, that's a dangerous assumption to make, because the mainstream media get 60% of their ad revenue from big pharma. So they can't. So if Anderson Cooper has a Jerry Maguire type moment where he goes to sleep and he wakes up in the morning and says, I'm going to blow the whistle on this. I'm going to do a great expose on the vaccine industry. The president of Merck would be in Jeff Zucker's office the next morning threatening to pull $1 billion worth of advertising if he doesn't get his guy under wraps, or get him under control. So. Right. So in that example, the executive that just turns in to watch 30 minutes of their nightly news and thinks they're getting the full story, they're not, because the news is compromised. And so there are a lot of people that are smart, high-functioning, able to comprehend this, but nobody has explained to them that where they're getting their information is probably more important than how much of the information they're actually getting.
Yeah, and people also within like what I would call the professional class, people that with high-level degrees, they discriminate against information that doesn't come out of the mainstream sources. So like I only read The Economist, or I only read, like the official journals or whatever, and it's like, the question is, are these, just how compromised are these sources? And I think that once you start investigating that, you find out that they're not just slightly compromised; they're profoundly compromised,
intentionally compromised. To create a false narrative. Yeah, it's very devious.